aircrew did not make it back. Um, it was a rough life. And this game does bring that into focus very well. And yeah, let's get into it. Welcome to the Royal Air Force Base Woodbridge, uh, where we've got our little bomber crew and our plane, and where we fly our missions from. Go to our crew, take a look at them. It's a pretty starting game. We got two training missions under our belt, and we're just about to go off on our first real mission. We've got our pilot, our flight engineer, our navigator, our radio operator slash radar person, two gunners, and our bombardier. Go check out our plane real quick, which is based off of an Avro Lancaster heavy bomber. Uh, One of the best and most prolific British bombers. Um, got our little you know, name there. Our plane is called the Flak Magnet. And we do have two training missions, and a photography mission. So I put those on there. I like to add those after every return mission. Engine's pretty normal. Take a look at our guns. We got our engines there. We don't really have any upgrades yet available. Our gun turrets. There's our tail turret with two 303 machine guns. We do not have a ventral turret yet. We're doing all low altitude bombing, so a ventral turret's not all that important, especially since we only have a limited amount of crew. Got our mid upper turret, also with 303s, and our nose turret. And these are very accurate to the original plane. These were all real variations to it. Take a look at our inside with the systems. We got our electrical box. We've got our hydraulics, our radar slash radio set. We do not have fire extinguishers for the engines yet. As soon as we get that researched, that'll be a top priority. Putting out engine fires is very handy. Oxygen tank, mostly useful at higher altitudes, so it's not a big priority right now. And our fuel tanks, we have two of them. Hopefully they stay intact. We got a few equipment slots. Got a fire extinguisher in the very rear. Med kit. Another fire extinguisher and another med kit. Now eventually you can mount 3 different pieces of equipment per one of these mounts, but to begin with you only get one. And they usually only start you off with the rear and mid-rear ones. I've already bought the mid-front and front ones from our mission rewards from the tutorial. We've got the fuselage. Can't wait to get that armored fuselage. That'll be nice. Gives our crew a little bit more survivability. And we have, for survival, homing pigeon, which we can't get yet, which increases our survival chances if we do an emergency landing on land, of course. Sea is a completely different beast. Yeah, without any further ado, I think we'll go to the briefing after we take a look at our pretty plane one more time. Yeah, this is where we are, and these are the available missions. We have a search and rescue. We have ammo dumps to bomb, and we have a motor factory to bomb. Let's see. Take a look at our. Okay, no, it's not bad. See, this one's nice because it gives us a perk where the enemy doesn't cause as much damage. So I think that'll be our first trip. And off we go. Now the management of this game is very different. I've never quite played a game like it. So you have each of your guys that you select here, and each of them has their own jobs. The pilot flies the plane. The engineer does a lot of different things, from putting out fires, patching up the wounded, grabbing ammunition for the gunners if necessary. He can also adjust the fuel in the tanks in case one of them gets damaged and has a leak. We can transfer the fuel to the other tank and save some of it. Later on, he gets other abilities, boosting speed by burning more fuel or putting in a lean mixture that allows the fuel to last longer, which is my favorite of the abilities that he has. Also, occasionally a secondary gunner after we get the ventral turret. Our navigator does navigating stuff. Tells us where to go. He has marked a position for us as a target. We'll go ahead and select it now. Okay, now the pilot knows where to go. And the pilot will fly to that position. The radio operator alerts us to any incoming fighters. And our gunners are sitting in their gun positions. Our bombardier also is the front gunner most of the time. But for right now, we're going to go select our bomb load. We've got 2 targets, so I'm selecting two bomb groups, 1 for each, or 2 for each, leaving a spare one. But we'll go back to our pilot and get this bird off the ground. Big and heavy bomber, so it takes a minute. There we go. And we can raise our gear. Always remember to raise your landing gear. Creates a lot of drag and eats up a lot of fuel. So you basically have 2 modes. You have your exterior, where you can pan around, take a look at things. I prefer to look at it this way. And then you can also switch to the interior mode. And this is how you more easily tell people where to go. Speaking of telling people where to go, I forgot to put Stuart back up into his turret there. Keep our eyes out for Jerry. No, we're pretty safe right now. We're kind of near London. I think that's London over there. Got the Thames River there. We're approaching the channel. Into, I believe, Belgium. Nope. New course plot. Go select that. This is also how we select our bombing targets and fighter planes. So it can get pretty hairy when you got multiple things to try and select at a time. I'm going to We are going past London now. Outskirts of it, right there. Little village along the way there. Like I said, we're going to be staying at low altitude for this one. Bombardiers and navigators need to be much higher level to be able to do their job effectively at higher altitudes. As you can see, everybody's only level 1. It's very close to level 2, especially the original 4 we had for the gunnery mission. Where we practice our gunnery. We added the rest of the crew when we did the bombing training. Now pretty much minimum crew is the pilot and navigator. You can get anywhere else without them, but it's not generally a good idea. Alright. Target sighted. First one anyway. Looks like we've got flak ahead. Hopefully we won't have to deal with fighters. Bomb bay doors are open. Ah, crap. Speaking of fighters, where are they at? Let's try and tag them real quick. There they are. Hopefully we don't overfly our bombing target. Almost. Select our other bombing target. Select a few more bombs. Taking fire. Depending how badly beat up we are after this, we might go for that optional photo recon. More fighters spotted. Yeah, we're going to head home. Where are they at? Yep, there's some right there that aren't tagged. What we got? What's going on? Fire? Dang it. Yep, I took all the fighters. Where is he? There he is. Oh, I think they've turned back. Send you to get some rest. So my flight engineer back there. You know, we're gonna be losing that engine awful quick. Oh, there it goes. We're close enough to home to not have to worry too much about it. Our tail gunner got shot up pretty good, so I'm having them rest in the rest over here. Yep, there's home base. I could send my flight engineer out to the engine to repair it now that the fire's out, but we're close enough to home to not have to worry too much about it. Just leave everybody where they are right now. Have that tail gunner just rest up. Got a little medical bay right there. Coming in for a landing pretty shortly. Lower gear. And we're down. Yay, we made it without anybody dying. It's a miracle. This is all pretty self-explanatory. The brass likes it when you return their aircraft. They give you money for it. we got some levels. See, this emergency dive would have been really nice, this mission. If you're at a medium or high altitude, you can dive, do an emergency dive, and put out engine fires. And our engineer can boost our speed by enriching our fuel mixture at a cost of burning it faster. I don't use it very often. Okay, got fire extinguishers researched, armored fuselage researched, and leather boots. Give us a little bit more armor. So we'll go crew gear. Now we'll just leave everybody in blue gear. Put some toques on people. Except for get rid of all of our armor. Gloves. Not really that useful. However, the leather boots give us a little bit more armor, survivability, and some thermal. So we'll give everybody those. Let's see what we can do with our aircraft. We got a new paint job. That is very boring, so we will not be using that. Let's update our nose art real quick. So we had another successful mission. Art with pixels. Always interesting. There we go. See how that looks. Looking good. Another successful mission. And now we have engine fire extinguishers. Also got armored fuselage. Ooh, forgot how much that was. $500 each position. So we'll start with the front, where the pilot is. Got some more armor there. Beef that up a little bit. The wings. Which will protect the fuel tanks a bit more. And let's see. Nose. I'd like to, but no. Yeah, let's go with the tail. Protect our tail gunner a little bit more. Tail gunner is generally very exposed. See a little bit of a difference, a little bit of armor added on. And that's all that we have researched so far. It's our next 400 for the 400 research points for the next gun upgrade. That should give us some time to work on upgrading our armor a bit. We get 750 for the next engine upgrades. That'll be a little ways. Alright. Well, we survived our first actual combat mission. No losses, no major damage. Alright. Well, yeah, thank you very much for joining me today with this game. Bomber Crew, again, is a very interesting game. Um, it gets very hairy at times, very stressful, but all in all, they did a really good job with it. I've been impressed with it. It's not that expensive either. I think it's like, you know, $25 with all the DLCs and stuff, which isn't unreasonable at all for a game of its caliber. Um, the style is kind of cute, entertaining, but still puts you into the very stressful situation of being a bomber crew in World War II, which was one of the most dangerous jobs in the entirety of the war. Even infantry didn't have as high a percentage losses as bomber crew. So I give great respect to the men and few women that were part of bomber crews, and yeah. So until next time, I I think we might be doing a few more of these missions, uh, just to see, give you more of a feel of what the game's all about. And yeah, I'll see you later.